Hello everyone, welcome back to Cosolix. I'm your host Cosolix. Today I'm teaching you how to play Rocket Lance in 2024. I am the best Lance player of all time, and I am going to teach you how to become the best Lance player of all time. Let's get right into this. This video, by the way, it's for beginners, it's for pros, it's for competitive up-and-coming players who might be only Diamond, that want to hit Brawlhalla. This is for everyone. Everyone should be able to get something out of this video, and I hope you enjoy. Also, if you want some personal coaching from me, check out teamcosolix.com. My coaching is on there. If you want to 1v1 me, see what playing against my Lance is really like, then you can go do that. Or check out the other coaches on Team Cosolix. Let's get right into this video. So launch Brawlhalla. First thing you're going to want to do is go to offline play, go to training, and then pick your Lance legend. I'm going to pick Macho Man, but guess what? It's a Lance guide. I got to talk about the legends. Macho Man is a really well-rounded character. Well, Olgrim, I guess. Great Lance pick. Scarlet is also a great Lance character right now. Very underrated, in my opinion. So is Orion. I think Orion is the best Lance legend right now. Just kind of has it all. Really well-rounded kit. Covers one of Lance's dead zones, which I will be talking about. Just something to kind of think about when playing Lance. Vector is a great character, super well-rounded, kind of like Olgrim, same in every single way basically, except you have bow instead of axe, so whatever you prefer. Characters I don't really recommend. I don't really recommend Thea because it's super gimmicky, really low defense, and not a lot of attack on a weapon like Boots that kind of struggle to build up damage. I don't know, I just don't love Thea. I think Thea can be counterpicked by Teros, to be honest. Vrax is actually a really solid character. You have a lot of specific true combos once you get to 9 dexterity, which we will be talking about a little bit. So if you want to hit even more true combos, then I'd play Vrax, but again, you need 9 dexterity. Anything less than 9 dex on Vrax just doesn't make sense. Don't use attack stance, use 9 dex. Roland is good and underrated, kind of like Scarlet. I think Scarlet's a bit better, but I think Roland's not so bad. I just don't really recommend Roland when you can play Olgrim or Vector. Artemis is actually really underrated and a really solid pick that I definitely recommend. Kind of has it all as well, but I would go to speed stance or the defense stance because 4 defense is just not a lot of defense, to be honest. And that's kind of it for the Lance characters. We're going to be playing Olgrim here. Let's go into training. Go to small brawl or any flat map that you really want. Demon or the new flat dragon map that's in ranked. And let's put the bot in the center of the map. You can either do this by hitting them to the center, or you can switch the control mode to bot and just control the bot. What you're going to want to do is damage reset on, position reset on, and let's switch back to player mode. So this just allows it so the bot just resets in the center. And let's give ourselves a Lance by switching to player settings. Show damage on, show stun on, show hitboxes on, show hurt boxes on, items spawning off. Then go to the top, give yourself a Rocket Lance. Now, let's talk about Lance as a whole. So Lance is a very horizontal weapon. Neutral light's horizontal, side light's horizontal, down light is horizontal. This character is basically only horizontal. And you don't really have anything that protects diagonally above you. So a lot of people will try and get stacked with you. Your only stacked option as well is down light. And it's a kind of a fake stacked option because you're not actually throwing out a hitbox in the middle of your hurt box. It's just in the position where you were. So like, that's where you were. And it's a good stacked option, but it's not the best in the game in my opinion. It is whatever, but it's a good string starter stacked option. But you don't have diagonals, right? So if someone, let's say this Lin phase has a Lance, could be floating right here on you, near stack and also diagonal. It's very awkward for Lance players. If you're on Orion, you have neutral sig. Olgrim's end sig is a bit more specific and kind of punishable. It's kind of further away. Like, I don't know, maybe it'll hit if you like backdash end sig, but it's just a little bit awkward for sure. So that's something to notice. If players are getting stacked on you, there's 2 ways of dealing with this. And we'll kind of be talking about it a little bit later, a bit more. That's just like the biggest concern with Lance. Also, Lance doesn't have kill confirmed true combos. Kind of like weapons like hammer and sword and boots. They just don't have that. Even gauntlets have kill confirms, Lance doesn't. So those are the 2 things Lance struggle at. So you're going to want to like pay attention and not be in those situations. Let's first go over every single move, and then how do we utilize those moves to deal with Lance's weaknesses that we just talked about. So neutral light is a good poking tool. If you're horizontal away and you don't think you can get a side light punish, this is a great way to kind of like poke them away. It's a spacing tool It's like, stay away from me. It can also set up true combos in 2v2, and it's just a really high priority move. You can see how long the range is, especially of that. I think the third swing has like the most range. Yeah, it does, but you only get it on hit, sadly, but it's whatever. And it's a great move. Downlight is your anti-stack tool, which we talked about. If they're downlight, if they're stacked, you downlight. And sidelight is your combo starter. I prefer sidelight over neutralite, but you know, you can bait with a neutralite for like backdash neutralite and then like play neutral. Sidelight, you can't really bait with sidelight. That is a committing move. But you do commit into really good combo starters, which we'll talk about some of the combo starters. If you want to learn all the essential combos and true combos you need to know on Lance, go check out our other video. Every Lance combo you need to know in 2024. I'm going to link it down below. But that video will help you tremendously on how do you utilize these combos even better. We'll go over the basic ones really quick. Sidelight down air is your go-to damage buildup because you can go sidelight down air into neutralite at 1 dodge frame. Sidelight neutral air is your damage buildup after you can't hit sidelight there. Sidelight there stops really working too well at like, you can do it at 100, like 110, maybe 120. It gets kind of fishy towards the end of orange health, as you can see there. So you're going to want to sidelight neutral air, and sidelight neutral air doesn't have any true combo follow-ups, but you can go for reads after that. So if they jump, you can go for recovery. If they go down, you can go for down air. If they dodge horizontally, you can jump Sair. It's both reads, and then it also puts you in a position you can go for tempo by daring in the opposite direction, or like naring in the opposite direction if you like wait a little bit and then you walk back, nair, etc. It's a good tool, but down air is better than neutral air. If you can hit the down air, I'd recommend going for it, and then go for the nair when you can't hit down air. Then when you're trying to kill, go for sidelight side air. You can go for sidelight recovery, but it's more dodgeable. Players have more than 1 dodge frame because of how dodge works. They can dodge downwards. Dodge, you move on the startup, like before the dodge comes out. You can kind of see I move a little bit and then I get my dodge frames. When the character turns white, they're dodging. And you can actually move out of the way of sidelight recovery. I misinputted it there, but you can move out of the way of sidelight recovery by dodging downwards. So I don't recommend going for this. Again, I recommend sidelight side air. And then some other combo you're going to need to know. So let's talk about the aerials and the combos really fast. There is a diagonal spiking tool, sometimes a string starter. Sair is a horizontal high force Sair. Kind of just like sidelight, but in the air with force. Pretty similar spacing. You get good horizontal momentum from it. And recovery is this chargeable diagonal move that just kind of, I don't know, has a high force, hits people off the top. These are all like, you know, they cover different dead zones: diagonal, horizontal, vertical. You might notice there's nothing directly above you or exactly directly below you. Like there is not going to hit here. So your goal is to be horizontal to your opponent. Lance is the most horizontal weapon in Brawlhalla. So try your best to be horizontal, not so much stacked. If you are stacked, you have weapon throw because of how wide Lance is. This is a great way of dealing if your opponent does want to play below you. Or you can weapon throw upwards and then like recovery or something like that. Both are really good tools that you can practice. I really prefer the weapon throw downwards. Not so comfortable weapon throwing upwards, but you can definitely practice it and utilize that to your gameplay. It's a really good option I've seen some Lance players use. And yeah, let's talk about more a couple aerial true combos now that you know the aerials. So there's dare into downlight, and you can see it doesn't work at that health. If you hit the dare close to grounded and stacked, you can see it doesn't really hit there, but there we go. That is a consistent true combo. And if you're on 9 dex Vrax, you can go dare into neutralite at 1 dodge frame. But when you're on, you know, 3 dex, you're going to get it to 3 dodge frames. Or less than 3 decks. I'm on 2 decks, so that's why it was 3 dodge frames. 3 decks, it goes to 2 dodge frames. So you can go like, yeah. So it's 3 decks, it goes to 2 dodge frames. 6 decks, it goes to 1 dodge frame. And we're talking about D-Light Neutralite here. And then 9 decks, it becomes true. So that's kind of why dex matters on Lance. I don't think it matters a ton, but it does actually have some value. So keep that in mind when you're picking your Lance Legends. I think Orion, because you can get 6 dexterity, is the most well-rounded Lance Legend. But anyways, We talked about Dare D-Light being pretty consistent. Dare N-Light is also 1 frame. Dare D-Light I'd only go for if you hit the Dare close to stacked. The last aerial combos or combo you're really going to need to know is set the AI to jump, and you want to hit the back end of Nair into downer. And I hit it to 1 dodge frame there, but it's actually a true combo, and it's a true combo on all decks. Dex doesn't matter for this. There we go. So if you hit the back end of Nair and they're early in health, go for this downer. And if you don't think you can go for the downer, the best options are Nair recovery. That can be down to 1 frame, even though I'm not hitting it 1 frame right now. Come on. I'm not hitting it 1 frame. I know it's not dex dependent. Maybe it is dex dependent. Maybe I completely lied and it is. I might need to lab that a bit more. You can get that down to 1 frame. I don't know how much dex you need. Yeah, I guess it is dex dependent. I'm on 2 decks right now, so that's probably why. Interesting. And then what you can also do is, instead of Nair recovery, you can also Nair Sair. Same thing, 1 or 2 dodge frames depending on decks. I will let you guys know in the comments, or comment down below if you know that, because I have not labbed that. They changed the Nair in the most recent balance patch, and there's a chance when you're watching this video, this could be slightly outdated. There's a lot of balance patches every year, and I'm making this, it's literally New Year's. So this is the start of 2024. So let me know down below in the comments if it has changed or anything about that kind of stuff. But yeah, Nair recovery, Nair Sair, and go for Nair Dare if they're in white. Go for the Nair recovery and whatnot if, you know, let's say they're in red and you hit the back end of Nair. Then I would recommend going for that. It does look like it's got pretty much fixed force. Let's actually test that really quick. I don't think it does have fixed force. Actually, it does. The back end has fixed force. So you could even go for Dare as a true combo at all healths if you really want to. Maybe that is the best option, but the recovery and Sair gives you a chance at killing, so it's up to you. If you've taken a dodge, then go for the recovery and Sair. If not, maybe go for the downer. It's a niche situation that I wouldn't really think about so much. If you're gold or platinum or even low diamond, focus on utilizing Sidelight Dare and Dare D-Light, the other stuff we talked about. And now let's talk about another really important thing, is how do you deal with these problems with land. So let's say they're stacked below you. We talked about the weapon toss, talked about the weapon throw upwards. You can also use movement to not be stacked. So stuff like this movement, so a dash jump fast fall into another dash. This is just very, very solid movement that I'd recommend practicing. I would watch a movement guide here on Neutralix. We're going to make another one soon for 2024, but there's a lot of movement guides here on Neutralix that are still applicable to movement right now. But the goal is, again, be horizontal, so you can also practice dash dances, back dash jumps even. We want to be horizontally away, and then also empty hops. You know, you can stay horizontally away, and you can choose between a side light, or you can choose between a side air, and it's kind of just up to you. So those are 3 things: dash dance, empty hops, and dash jump fast falls or dash landings are very, very important. And try your best to be horizontal. Let's say you're at the side of a stage and you can't be horizontal, you can try and go for a cross up, but again, be careful with those stack situations. They're not great. If your opponent is stacked grounded, or let's say they're empty hopping and they might be grounded, then a downlight stack is a really good tool. So there's weapon throw, downlight. Let's say your opponent is empty hopping a lot and they're just jumping, you can get stacked and use a Nair. That's another way of dealing with it. There are options to deal with stack situations, so getting good in stack situations is really important, but other weapons just have better options in stacks. So I'd recommend not being stacked so much on Lance, because you got better options than them horizontally. So like a weapon like Katars has a lot of options stacked, but has sidelight. Other than sidelight, everything's like really stacked, and even sidelight on Katars is pretty stacked. So again, you're going to want to be horizontal on Lance, and then the goal is sidelight punishers. Be horizontal and hit these combo starters, or side air punishers and whatnot. There are some very niche true combos, like Sair Neutralite. You can get true. It's very awkward though, and it doesn't work at 0. It's like 40 health or whatever. It's a very, very weird true combo where you have to hit like the start of it. I'm not even hitting it true now. Let's see if I can just hit it once for fun. No, I'm not even hitting it true. I think you can hit Sair into sidelight as well. I missed and put it there. You have to hit like very close to stack. Okay, you know, it's such a weird combo. 4 frames still. Let me try like 60. Simpler it there. 2 frames, you see what I mean? That's crazy for it being 2 frames. It's very weird. I'm like misinputting the timing. There we go, I hit that true. Just a very weird combo. There are some weird combos on Lance, including Dare Ground Pound is also true, or like Dare Sair. I'm not going to teach it in this video, but subscribe if you want an advanced combo guide for every weapon in Brawlhalla. That would be a really cool video to make. That can really help you guys. There's also this tech on Lance. It's like edge canceling. I don't know. You can cancel the like attacks on Lance. So this like is instant Sair. If you basically, you just Sair next to the wall, it comes out in the first couple frames. It's like a modified Sair. So you can definitely practice this. It's a really interesting and useful Sair. And you can do the exact same thing to down air. So you just need to get really close to the wall on Lance. And then you dare in the opposite direction. And you can spike with this. It's super duper weird. But it is possible. Like that dare and dare again. They're very good edge guarding tools, and you can utilize them, but they take a lot of practice to get consistent, so I don't recommend it if you're gold and plat, and it's definitely something even I need to practice more and utilize more, because these, I'm not even doing it properly there. There we go. It's just super interesting, but yeah, that's definitely something. Let me play an experimental game, and let me show you guys how to play Lance and win all your matches. Just the overall game plan in mind. We've talked about it a little bit, but let's show it even more so. Orion. I'm going to pick Orion. Again, I think Orion is the best Lance Legend. You have 6 dex, 5 attack, 5 defense, 6 speed. You can't really ask for better stats, to be honest. Just super well-rounded, no holes. If you lose in Brawlhalla on Orion, it is your fault at the end of the day. You cannot complain about this character. Super balanced, spear is an insane weapon, etc., etc. Okay, we're playing against a Thea player. Let's take a look and let me talk about my game plan while playing. So we talked about wanting to be horizontal, so I'm just gonna like, you know, empty hop here. We want to be almost horizontal away. The end light was a little poking tool. You know, he wants to be stacked, so you can go for down lights as well. There is horizontal away. Kind of missed a couple attacks there. You know, we're empty hopping. We don't want to be stacked, We can even play grounded there. End light is a great little poking tool. Side light there into the end light. You can down sig, create some tempo. Tempo is basically when you use moves that don't have any intention of landing, and it's just to kind of bait and pressure your opponent. So that's kind of one way. There's the end light again, that poking tool that we talked about. Hit the dare. Didn't have a true combo out of that dare, so I didn't really go for anything. Now we're empty hopping. We're kind of stacked, so we don't want to be stacked. This is a Lance player, though, so it's not so bad if we go stacked against them. So we can kind of be pressure in Lance's dead zone if we're better at dealing with those stack situations. You know, so we empty hop. I probably should have side lighted that. You know, we're stacked, I didn't go down. Kind of guessed that was bad. And then we hit that recovery because he was diagonal to me. So just using the moves when it makes sense to at the end of the day. And empty hops are really crucial. You can even practice a lot of other stuff. Hit that down light. I probably should have down light and lighted. It was only 1 frame. There we go. Put some pressure with a little dash jump there. Down light end light being 1 frame. Down light end light being 1 frame. A lot of people won't dodge that. So this is a really great way of building up damage. Orion down sig is really good. And let's say they go diagonal to me, because a lot of people like to be diagonal on Lance. You have end sig as well, which a lot of people will fall for. Didn't jump there. But yeah, there I spaced myself. I jumped horizontally, and I put myself in a position to Sair. So it's a lot of trying to position yourself horizontally, or depending on where you want to go. Go to 1 frame stuff. Side light there. I probably could have dashed down lighted at 1 frame as well. No, light end light, 1 frame. Hit that nair because we were close to stack. Hit that down light. They're dodging up, so let's maybe try and cover that with a end sig if we hit another down light. Okay. I probably should have side lighted. What do they want to do? Nice little poking in light. That's some tempo from the opponent. Go up. Oh, I didn't go up there. And then that's a 1 frame, so I dodged it, and yeah, hit the recovery there diagonal to me. You can kind of just see the flow. I've talked about everything already in this video, and that's all you need to know. That is the Lance guide for 2024. Get good at everything I talked about, the purpose of it all. Maybe there's some advanced true combos you can learn, but they're not necessary to improve at Lance, and they're very niche and kind of for funsies at the end of the day. You can kind of add that, you know, maximize and polish everything talked about in this video, and then you can do your own research in lab and training room stuff like dare ground pound, dare Sarah can be a true combo off stage. There's a lot of weird niche true combos if you want to have some fun. I hope this video helped. Like, subscribe if it did. Let me know down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.